You're talking to a guy here that's, reached the height of real estate career, 30 years to be running 3 businesses in the top 10 of Century 21 in all of Australia. That's 3 offices. In the business for 30 years, he's saying the top people still, voice to voice, belly to belly, are having conversations with people in their marketplace. Hi everyone, it's Tom Panos here from News Limited, and I've got with me Craig Marshall, amazing person, 30 years in real estate, has 3 offices in the Century 21 group that are in the top 10. That's 3 offices. Hi Craig.
Hi Tom. Thanks.
I'm so pumped and excited. I always love talking to people that have walked their talk, people that have been to a listing presentation yesterday, people that are not only running a business, but they're actually involved in the list sell negotiation process. So thank you.
Pleasure. Yep.
Craig, for the viewers out there that don't know you, which would be people saying Queensland maybe or Victoria, can I just get the 60-second snapshot version of you?
Of me. I've been in real estate 30 years, as you mentioned. I've had the offices have been in the top 10 for quite a few years now. I got the #1 office twice in the last few years, but that took me a long time to get there. I still list and sell myself. I do believe that listing and selling is so important to run a business. And basically I still love it after 30 years, and I love challenges.
I'm just curious, does it do your head in running 5 businesses, or how does it work out?
Look, it is a lot of work. The good thing that I've got is I've got a lot of good, loyal staff, and I've got over 12 people who've been with me over 10 years.
Wow.
And I've got another 4 people who've been with me 9 years. So loyal staff, that means you can run a business efficiently. You have to get systems in place and staff in place who will run the systems. And it's got to the stage now where people go and sell houses, they won't even see the house, it all just happens remotely, but you need loyal, good staff being with you a long time, and that's the way it works. I couldn't run this business if I had all new people. It just wouldn't happen.
What do you think is that secret that you've been able to keep people to stay with you so long?
I treat the business like a family. It's a big family now with multiple locations and 60 staff, but I treat them like family, and I'll get upset if somebody leaves. And I like to keep everyone happy. We have a good family orientation, we have social functions. I'd like to make sure that people enjoy what they do.
Give me examples. How do you create, because you're talking about culture, how do you create that sort of culture that there's happiness, that people feel terrific about coming to work, that people feel like they don't want to leave? What are the things that an owner can do to create and cultivate that sort of feeling?
A lot of things I do, like every birthday I make sure I ring the staff. They always get a cake, which is a pretty straightforward thing. Every single sale I'm on the phone to congratulate them from every staff member. They make a joke now in the office too, by the way, because if I don't ring them within 10 or 15 minutes of them sending the email, it's a bit of a joke there. So I actually get onto them straight away. It's attention. A big thing about management, if there's an issue, you hit it on the head straight away. You get involved and you work it out. And I've got a bit of a policy. My staff know that I have ideas and I have systems and I have policies. And I actually say to them that not every time it's fair, but I have to have something which works the whole company. So I'll make decisions which may not look fair, but it's a decision. A lot of managers won't make decisions and won't confront situations, and I'm always there to confront it straight away and resolve it.
And I think there must be real wisdom in that, because on the one hand, Craig, what you're saying is that you need to create a nice, happy environment, but at the same time, if there's an issue, you go ugly early. You have that crucial conversation. You don't let it fester. You don't let it derail the business.
No.
So just the ability to do that. Do you find are you the sort of person that finds it difficult to have tough conversations with people?
No, because if my staff, I like loyal staff and people who are working for the business and are loyal. So if there's a tough thing to do, I've had people with divorces and deaths and all the issues in the world, and I'll support them through that for them to come out the other end. I will shut down very quickly if somebody's dishonest, doing the wrong thing or causing big troubles. I change. I'll shut down very, very quickly. But if things go wrong and it's a person who's loyal and doing the right thing but something's going wrong, I'll support them all the way through.
Right. Okay, right now, people watching this video are generally people that are in their 20s and 30s. They're writing 200, 300 grand in gross commission income. They're seeing a guy here that owns 5 offices, has people that write $1 million a year in his business. you have a helicopter view of what good salespeople do and what bad salespeople
Yes.
do. And I'd love to be able to tap into your 30 years experience and share it with the viewers. What is the common denominator of good real estate salespeople?
Okay, the first thing is the want and the love of it. There's no use doing a job unless you love it. So the people who do well love it. They actually, I find it very interesting, my top salespeople keep going to training.
Right.
And the bottom salespeople can't understand why the top salespeople are going to training. I actually got a comment from one of my salespeople the other day, one of my newer ones. Why are you at the training? It was actually your training, actually. He said, why are you there? Shouldn't you know everything after 30 years? I said, no, because you always learn something. And the top salespeople do training and they're diligent. I can tell you exactly, if I send an email out to all my staff, I know who will reply and how long it takes. I know who won't even reply. And the top salespeople, they're in a system, they work the system, they actually get results. They actually get a task and complete it quickly and efficiently.
Yeah.
They don't push things aside. It's the old story. If there's something bad to do in the morning, or that day, do it in the morning, do it first thing, get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So they grab hold of ideas and work it. Now, my top salespeople, if a good idea comes in, they grab it and run with it. The other people just complain about it. Too much work, too hard, whatever. So that's what it is. It's just that continual persistence and attitude and completing tasks and being like that.
Okay, so Craig covered a fair bit there. I mean, the first thing he said is that they have passion and want and desire. And I suppose when you love the job, you're always going to do better because you're going to spend more time in it. Because you spend more time doing things that you love. So obviously, just being there more often means that you're going to get better results. Being there more often means that you'll get better at it anyway. Ironically, yes, about training, it's funny, isn't it, Craig? Like, the people that need it least go to training, and the people that need it most aren't there.
Yes.
And you've summed that up. And also the thing about, what did you say about staying on the task? I mean, people get distracted easily, don't they, in real estate?
Very easily, yeah. I can't work out why it's just a policy thing. Real estate agents are always late to appointments, and I can't work that out because it's so crucial. Why can't you get self-organised? Good salespeople will be there on time and be there early, and other people get there late. They're not organised. If you're not organised in your personal life, how can you be organised in your business life? And I must say, when you have women who come into the business and have got young kids or kids who've been through that whole thing and have to juggle 10 different things at a time, it's amazing how well they do in real estate because they can juggle 10 different things at a time.
So you're saying this thing about lateness, if someone's late, they're generally late all the time?
Correct, yeah. You can pick it.
Right, it's become like a habit in their life. It's
exactly. They've got to change their habit to be able to do it. Just a very quick little story I'll tell, employing somebody new just fairly recently, and I did a bit of a crazy thing. I went around and actually explained every single person to that person, what they're like, whether they return your emails, whether they'll do something, just the personality of every single one. At the end of the day, she said to me, why did you do that? I said, you need to know, because she's an overall marketing person, you need to know how everyone works. It's not that I dislike anybody. I respect every single personality in my company.
Right.
So that's, as a manager, that's another thing back on that. You need to respect and you need to understand and you need to say, that's their personality, you have to work with that personality, okay? Again, if they're loyal and honest and everything, I'm happy. If they're dishonest, they're out the door, but respect it. So I went through the whole day. At the end of the day, she said to me, why do you do that? I said, you need to know. And over the next couple of weeks, she started saying, now I know why when I send an email, this person won't return it, and this person will. And she was able to deal with the staff accordingly, like I do.
Okay, that's beautiful. Craig, bad salespeople, have you worked out a common thread? Because there's a lot of people that come in, the sky's the limit. I mean, we've got an industry where people can have very low education but earn $300,000 a year. But the majority of the people that will get their real estate certificate and work in an office won't get to that level. The majority of the people will struggle.
Yeah.
Have you been able to, through your helicopter view of real estate in 30 years, employing hundreds of people over those years, have you worked out, is there a common thread of the bad ones?
The common thread of the bad ones would be, one of them is just not liking the job.
Right.
You know, they think all these dollars are there. So they come in there and think, okay, I can make a fortune. They come in, they just don't like the job. It's just not for them. So not liking, personality. You can be multiple personalities in real estate. It's not just one type of personality. But if the personality doesn't fit in the industry,
Right.
you're not going to do well. I had one person who worked for me and he had fantastic letters from vendors. But he, on the 80-20 rule, 20% of the people liked this person, 80% didn't. You can't make a lot of money. You need to be an 80-20 where 80% of the people like you, because not 100% will ever like you.
I mean, that's an interesting thing. What makes someone likeable? What's the likeable real estate personality?
Okay, I'm going to do a bit of a theory, which I call, people think it's quite funny, I bring it up. It's called the dog theory.
Right.
You've seen somebody walking down the street with a dog?
Yeah.
And you always see the dog as a bit like the person who's walking the dog and vice versa?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what it is, a salesperson who's going to be good in real estate on the dog theory, you look at the salesperson, you look at the vendor, and there's a commonality there. Okay. Now, a good salesperson has a good-looking dog that a lot of people like. Okay. A bad salesperson has a dog which is a lot of people don't like. So if you've got, it's that connection between the dog theory and the vendor and the purchaser. So if you're a person who more people like and you're passionate and concerned, you'll get more business than somebody who's got an ugly dog.
Is that learnable, or is that born?
That's a very good question. I think you can teach somebody all the facts and figures and the whole lot. It's very hard to teach that. But there's another side. And I've had salespeople start with me, which in the dog theory, I thought they're not going to get much business because I just think the compatibility out there in the marketplace is not going to work. So let's go to another side. You get somebody who's very diligent, grabs all the knowledge, goes to all the training, grabs all the systems, takes everything in and works it and works hard, can be just as successful. And I've seen that happen as well. So forget the personality part, because don't forget, if you're going for business, you've got the knowledge and you've got the back end, you know everything, you can overcome that situation. So if you don't think you've got the personality, you get the knowledge and the expertise and the whole lot, and ask questions and training and just know everything.
Yeah, I think so. In summary, what you're saying is that everyone's got a baseline of likability and sales influence, but you can change that number, increase it, decrease it by things that you've got control over, like training. It's not just like I'm born good or bad.
No, nobody's born a real estate agent, as they say. But I've seen salespeople got a fantastic personality. Okay, and they go out there, they can sell ice to Eskimos and things like that. That person has to understand they're great at that, but usually those people don't have any detail behind them.
Yeah.
And they go out there and they do all these things and everything falls down behind them because they're a great salesperson, but that part falls apart. What they need to do is understand where they're situated and get somebody to pick up the pieces behind them. And I've seen a lot of salespeople, great salespeople, and it all falls apart because of the underneath. So you employ somebody to look after that part, because a lot of salespeople aren't analytical enough, so they won't do the detail. Get someone else to do it, and then you'll go through the roof. And I've seen that happen many times beforehand too.
Your method of operation of success in real estate is big on options.
Yes.
Lots of marketing.
Yes.
Is there a lot of prospecting that's done in your business, or is it more like you've built a bit of a brand and it's an attraction type business?
I do every single property listing that comes in. I get an email from the staff, we email it to all the staff, and I actually file it away to analyse where it's all coming from. And at the end of the day, a lot of it comes from speaking to people. Right. You can, letterbox dropping farming is good, it's just branding, recognition, but it comes down to knowing people and then to speaking to people, and it is so strong. Sitting in the office and not speaking to people is just not on. You've got to get out and talk to people.
Okay, so I've got to tell you, this is an important point, because you're talking to a guy here that's reached the height of real estate career, 30 years to be running 3 businesses in the top 10 of Century 21 in all of Australia. That's 3 offices. In the business for 30 years, he's saying that without conversations in 2013 and 2014, even though we've got all these new systems and processes and database systems and MailChimp and all this software program, you can send an email to America and get a response within 2 minutes. What you're saying is the top people still, voice to voice, belly to belly, are having conversations with people in their marketplace.
A prime example was last night. Did a golf day. It was a sponsored golf day. I sponsored it the last 3 years. Okay, I got someone else to go there, but this year I made sure I was there. I did a speech for 3 or 4 minutes in front of 90 people. If I wasn't there and I gave them the money and my brand is up and the sign's up, maybe something would have happened, who knows. I walked out of the car, just about to go, guy came up to me, retired person, says, I want to sell my home, can you come and see me? Booked in the appointment on the spot there.
Well, what have we said? It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a perfect example of you speaking, having a purpose talk one to many, then just one to one, and then getting business from.
Exactly. I don't know him at all, but now I do.
Yeah, that's excellent. Craig, as we finish off here today, I want to ask you this final question. If Craig Marshall was meeting Craig Marshall 30 years ago, what advice would you give him?
What advice would I give Craig Marshall 30 years ago? Go for your goals, keep going. Things will happen, things will go right, things will go wrong. But as long as, look, everything's going to go wrong. Just keep your goals, keep focused, and keep trying. Even though you get hit around the head and beaten down and things go wrong. I've had huge ups and downs through my career. Just keep on going, because they're the people who succeed, who just keep on goals.
Yeah.
I have goals, non-stop goals and goals. And it's a funny thing, I have all these goals in the business, my personal goals, business goals. I focus on them, and I don't know what it is, it's like karma. They seem to come off not every time, but most of the time. But just keep that focus. Keep focused, that's it.
And on that point, gang, we're going to finish off. I think Craig has summed it up, that, look, every day is not going to be a 10 out of 10 day, but don't get attached to the high, don't get attached to the low, because wherever there is a high, you're going to have a tough time coming up. Whenever things are down, don't get attached to it and get absorbed to it, because the reality is that things will pick up. To our viewers out there, one final bit of advice. What is the advice you can give someone sitting there that wants to be better? What can you share with us?
One of the biggest things I have is people will either succeed or fail over one thing, I believe, and that isn't what I say to people. The owners have the problem, you don't. If you take on their problems and you fall down with them, you won't succeed. You've got to actually separate yourself, and I find it very important. I learned from many years ago from Ray Cordell, who I bought the business from 26 years ago. If you don't get a result and help them, you are failing. So if you go down to their problems, we're dealing divorces, money, all sorts of things. But if you go down and feel totally depressed with them, and you don't take control and remove yourself from the emotions, you will not actually do the right thing by the owners, because you won't get the results because you're falling down. And I find salespeople don't succeed, fall into the emotional trap, can't cope, and get out of real estate. Separate. They have the problem, you don't, but you're here to help them move their life on.
Okay, gold. Because to me, what you're saying is, if you get emotionally attached to it, you stop having the crucial conversations, you stop following the process, because you've taken the role of not being an agent, but becoming a counsellor.
Yes.
Craig Marshall from Cordo Marshall, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
I just enjoy running a great business. And that's a breakthrough. And it's different to, I've got to be number one. And if you can transition to say, I just love running a great business. I'm proud of my staff. I'm proud of the fact that the quality of the service I offer to my community. I feel good in the fact that I'm able to influence people in terms of bringing better skills. That's one of the transitions. And people are actually just loving running a first-class business.